Behind every legend lies a reason. This is Myth and Motive.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have always known that Russia is a country full of mysteries stretching across its regions. Lake Baikal in Siberia is a prime example. Not only is it the world's largest and deepest freshwater lake, Baikal also holds countless terrifying stories, unexplained phenomena, and unique creatures on the planet have made Baikal both majestic and eerie. To learn more about this lake, please watch today's video. Located in eastern Siberia, Russia, Baikal is a unique natural wonder with unparalleled beauty in the world. Many famous songs, poems, and folk songs have been written about this lake. But hidden beneath that beauty is the mystery at depths of thousands of meters under Lake Baikal. Mysteries that have always obsessed the scientific community. The Guinness Book of Records has recognized Lake Baikal in Russia as the deepest lake in the region. The Guinness Book of Records has recognized Lake Baikal in Russia as the world's deepest lake, with an ice-covered area and storing up to 20% of the Earth's freshwater. That is why it also has special names like the world's spring, the Moon Lake. According to scientists' calculations, Lake Baikal widens by about 2 centimeters each year, and as of 2013, it had expanded into 336 tributaries. If all other freshwater lakes on Earth were to dry up, the water in Lake Baikal would be enough for all humanity for 40 years. The water here is also very pure, containing very few minerals. Experts believe it is no exaggeration to consider Lake Baikal's water almost distilled. There are as many as 336 rivers, large and small, and only the Angara River flows out from the lake. To explain this, there is an ancient legend. Long ago, Baikal had a beautiful daughter named Angara. To protect his daughter, Baikal locked Angara in a high tower. But the beautiful girl fell in love with the Yenisei River and ran away from her father to be with her lover. Baikal, upon learning of this, became angry and cursed Angara, throwing a broken mountain fragment to block her path to Yenisei. Angara, imprisoned until she withered, begged her father for forgiveness and asked him for water to drink. However, Baikal replied that he could only give her his tears. That is why the Angara River, belonging to Lake Baikal, and the Yenisei River form the shape of a teardrop according to the ancient legend. As for Baikal, due to his grief over his daughter, he became cold and gloomy, resembling the often melancholic, cold appearance of the lake later. Scientists still debate the age of Lake Baikal. According to the main theory, the lake has existed for about 25 to 35 million years. But some researchers calculated it being 150,000 years old and 8,000 years old. It is known that humans began living around this lake from the 2nd century BC. Although from different ethnic groups, they all called the lake by quite similar names. Before the 17th century, Russians did not call the lake Baikal but instead called it Longo, from the Evenki language meaning sea. Later, the lake was called Baikal by the Buryat people. Was changed to. Even now, there are many hypotheses explaining this name. And according to Buryat legend, the current location of Lake Baikal was once a mountain with fire burning on it. The Buryat people have many other theories about the name of the lake. Means oil and Bak al-Baka. It is not without reason that Baikal is famously called the Jewel of Russia. One of the highlights of the ecosystem at Baikal is the large number of endemic species. About 80% of the over 3,600 species of plants and animals found here do not appear anywhere else on the planet. The most typical example is the Baikal seal, the only freshwater seal in the world. Their existence and thriving in the freshwater environment of Baikal is a mystery that scientists are still researching to understand this unique evolutionary process. Additionally, the lake is home to the golemyanka fish, a transparent fish with almost no bones, living at great depths. This fish is an important part of the lake's food chain and reproduces uniquely by giving birth to live young instead of laying eggs, which is rare among other fish. The water in Lake Baikal is extremely clear and rich in oxygen, even at the deepest layers. This creates favorable conditions for life to thrive at the bottom of the lake. Phytoplankton and algae are the foundation of the ecosystem, providing food for smaller animals, thus maintaining the ecological balance for the entire lake. Particularly, the diatom algae in Lake Baikal play a crucial role in purifying the water, making it drinkable directly in many areas. The ecosystem of Baikal is not only a prime example of biodiversity but also a living museum of evolution. Thanks to its isolated environment and harsh climatic conditions, the lake has become a sanctuary for many precious species, creating a unique biological treasure in the world. The stunning natural landscape of Lake Baikal has become a world-famous tourist destination. The lake gained even more public attention when it was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996. The allure of Lake Baikal is created by many factors. Mysterious stories are among them. There are many legends surrounding Lake Baikal, the most notable being the story of 1,600 tons of gold at the bottom of the world's deepest lake. This treasure is estimated to be worth up to $90 billion US. In 1977 AD, when Tsar Nicholas II was nearly bankrupt, many nobles representing the old feudal forces in Russia tried to gather a lot of gold and treasures to migrate to the west. When passing Lake Baikal, they encountered pursuing enemies. At that moment, the nobles abandoned a total of 1,600 tons of gold, letting it sink straight to the bottom of Lake Baikal. There is another version that claims this gold was collected and owned by Tsar Nicholas II himself. While transporting it to hide it elsewhere, the entire group passing Lake Baikal encountered thawing ice. Because the lake was too wide and they couldn't escape in time, all 1,600 tons of gold and the escorting troops sank to the bottom of the lake. Many people have always coveted this huge sum of money but ultimately gave up. That's not that they don't. The first reason is due to the structure and location of the lake. In 2015, according to local residents' discoveries, the deepest point of Lake Baikal could reach 1,637 meters, and the total volume of the lake exceeds 2.36 billion cubic meters. For individual units to invest in salvage, efforts are almost impossible. The location of Lake Baikal lies at the intersection of seismic belts. Data shows that approximately every 10 years, there are earthquakes of about magnitude 6, and every 30 years, devastating earthquakes of about magnitude 6 occur. Some major earthquakes recorded in history include those in 1862 and 1959. For example, in 1960, a strong earthquake of magnitude 9.5 occurred at Lake Baikal, affecting the entire surrounding geological structure and the lake's water level. The second reason is that inside Lake Baikal, many types of freshwater animals from the tertiary period are still preserved, such as the Baikal seal, Arctic whitefish, OMUL whitefish, and sharks. The vast majority of individuals intending to search for the treasure gave up after hearing that there are extremely dangerous species here. If human impacts cause serious damage to the lake's environment, the biological resources, plants, and even mineral resources here could be affected. This could be a loss for both present and future generations. The third reason is, if gold is actually found during salvage, who would this huge amount of gold belong to? Since Lake Baikal was chosen as a World Natural Heritage Site in 1996. From this perspective, Lake Baikal seems to belong to everyone and all of humanity. But the indigenous people living around the lake are the Aikas ethnic minority. Looking at the border, Lake Baikal lies on the territory of both the Republic of Buryatia and Aikas Hoplats. Therefore, no one can come up with a relatively unified statement as to whom the entire lake belongs. In addition to the above reasons, there are many strange and mysterious stories about Lake Baikal, making no one dare to risk disturbing it. People living around Lake Baikal also report frequently seeing strange scenes on the lake's surface, from castles to trains and ships. There are even many reports related to UFOs and aliens at Lake Baikal. Interestingly, the stories about UFOs here come from secret documents of the Soviet Navy. According to documents from 1982, a Russian Navy diver reported that they encountered a group of humanoid creatures wearing silver suits at a depth of 50 meters.
3 divers chasing this group of creatures were confirmed dead, and 4 others were injured.
Therefore, regardless of whether this legend is true or what the truth behind the mysteries of the lake is,
without sufficient scientific and technological development alone, no one would dare to think about starting the search for the gold lying deep at the bottom of this lake.
similar to Loch Ness in Scotland,
Baikal also has its own associated monster, Nessie. And that is truly a terrifying story.
Legends tell of a water dragon that dwells in Buckhorsky Bay, the warmest part of this water basin, and often drags horses down into the water. Some people think it resembles a giant sturgeon with a deeply wrinkled face.
Many others claim it is a reptilian monster with claws and sharp spines running along its back.
Meanwhile, others believe this monster looks like an ancient crocodile species.
Centuries ago, indigenous people still sacrificed livestock, jewelry, and food, even blood, to prevent the monster from becoming angry. To prevent the mysterious monster from starting terrifying obsessions, ancient indigenous people performed rituals sacrificing livestock, jewelry, and they hoped these offerings would keep the water monster of this place resting quietly at the bottom of the lake.
In fact, in the 1980s, Soviet researchers detected a moving object,
approximately 30 meters long, in the depths of Lake Baikal using sonar equipment.
but they could not clearly identify what it was. Russian and foreign monster hunting enthusiasts still have no explanation for this mystery to this day.
This beautiful lake appears peaceful, but it is a place where many find it easy to come but difficult to leave. Many mysterious disappearances have occurred here, yet there are still no answers.
One of the most mysterious
disappearances occurred in 1958, when a Soviet Navy ship carrying sailors suddenly vanished without a trace while performing duties on Lake Baikal.
Although the military launched a large-scale search, no trace of the ship or its crew was found.
Many hypotheses were proposed, ranging from them being swept into a giant underwater vortex to supernatural phenomena that no one could explain.
Another famous mysterious story related to Lake Baikal is the disappearance of a Soviet military aircraft crew in 1971.
This aircraft, while flying over the Lake Baikal area, suddenly disappeared from radar screens.
Search teams discovered aircraft wreckage on the lake's surface, but strangely, no bodies of the crew were found. The story became even more mysterious when some witnesses reported seeing strange lights in the area just before the aircraft vanished.
Local people have long passed down stories about the mysterious disappearances of fishermen at Lake Baikal.
There are many tales that when thick fog descends, fishermen's boats are pulled into an invisible space and never return. Some fishermen, before disappearing, reported seeing strange phenomena, such as waves suddenly rising high, mysterious lights appearing on the water, or a feeling of being watched. These incidents caused panic in the fishing community, making many afraid to set sail during unfavorable times. There is even a legend that on full moon nights, the ghostly river appears from the depths of Lake Baikal, emitting a faint glow on the water's surface. Those touched by this river will be entangled forever, never to return. This leads many to believe that Lake Baikal is a gateway to another world or a dwelling place for lost souls.
Besides the scary legends, Lake Baikal is also a place where many strange phenomena occur. First and foremost is the glowing water of the lake.
Research by Victor Dobrynin from the Institute of Engineering Physics at Yakutsk State University discovered the phenomenon of Lake Baikal's water glowing in 1982. Since then, scientists have delved into studying this phenomenon.
Water samples from different depths and locations in the lake show that the luminescence intensity of the lake water decreases with depth,
and the range of variation from the surface
to the bottom reaches 100 feet or more. Radiation levels at the same location can vary. Water samples from the deepest location, near Uncorn Island, recorded a minimum luminescence of 100 photons per square centimeter per day. Statistical research also shows that the luminescence level of the water changes throughout the year. From November to mid-January, luminescence decreases and then gradually increases.
These analyses are very valuable for scientists, helping to predict ecological changes.
However, research remains just research. Why Lake Baikal's water glows is still a mystery. Baikal is also a place associated with strange sounds with supernatural power.
Many local people believe that the lake's water has healing properties and can grant immortality.
And on special occasions, especially during the New Year or sacred holidays, people in this region often organize rituals of immersing themselves in the lake, where temperatures can drop to freezing in winter.
The water of Baikal becomes a challenge to endure, but for them, it is a way to purify the body and soul.
They believe that this water not only cleanses physical impurities but also dispels negative energies, helping people become purer and healthier.
Some even believe that immersing oneself in the lake's water can bring longevity, even immortality, thanks to receiving abundant energy from the earth and nature.
This legend of immortality may originate from the rare purity of Lake Baikal's water.
With an age of over 25 million years, Baikal possesses clean, unpolluted water, making it a source of life for thousands of endemic species. Many believe that the power from the lake's depths can transfer to humans when they immerse themselves in the water.
Although this belief hasn't been scientifically proven, the spiritual allure and mystery of Lake Baikal continue to captivate generations,
leading them to constantly visit here to perform reverent rituals, hoping to achieve health and longevity.
Of course, not everything about Lake Baikal is frightening and healing. This Russian gem is also an extremely poetic and beautiful place. At Lake Baikal, there is a unique museum of the same name located right in the lake area. This place plays an important role in researching and preserving the ecosystem of the world's oldest and deepest freshwater lake. The Baikal Museum is located in Listvianka, a small town on the shore of Lake Baikal, about 70 kilometers from Irkutsk city.
Established in 1928 as part of the Russian Academy of Sciences.
Initially, the institute focused on geological and linological research, that is, the study of lakes. Over decades, the Baikal Museum has developed into an international research center for the lake's natural phenomena,
as well as a tourist attraction with thousands of visitors each year. This is one of 3 lake museums in the world. Here there are 10 large aquariums showcasing the lake's shrimp and fish species. There are 2 seals kept in a tank weighing 37 tons.
According to Baikal Museum Director Vladimir Fialko, these aquariums are very special.
These are the only aquariums in the world constructed as part of a natural lake.
Lake water from 400 meters depth is directly channeled into these tanks.
Meanwhile, all other aquariums in the world require water filtration because they don't have access to such massive volumes of clean water.
Additionally, at the museum, visitors can dive to a depth of 1,637 meters to explore the space. Although located in a cold Siberian region, right by Lake Baikal lies a peaceful, poetic village. Listvianka is located about 70 kilometers southeast of Irkutsk city and lies along the southwestern shore of Lake Baikal.
This is one of the most accessible lakeside villages, making it an ideal gateway to explore Lake Baikal.
Notably, the village sits right where the Angara River, the only river flowing out from Baikal, originates from the lake. Listvianka has long been a traditional fishing village, where people depend on resources from Lake Baikal.
The village's name comes from Listvenitsa in Russian, meaning larch tree, a common tree species in this region.
With tourism development, Listvianka has gradually transformed from a small fishing village into a famous tourist center. Despite strong tourism development, Listvianka has maintained its traditional cultural identity.
Visitors can find traditional Russian wooden houses, experience local cuisine, and meet indigenous people who still preserve ancient customs.
Through millions of years of formation and development, Lake Baikal has become a precious natural treasure.
Not only being home to countless endemic species but also an endless source of inspiration for those seeking connection with nature and the mysteries of the universe.
Although containing countless unsolved mysteries, this place remains an attractive destination for souls passionate about exploration.
And today's video ends here. Thank you all for your support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't.
If the legend hooked you, subscribe and open the next case.